You're scrolling through endless digital piano options because you need something that just works. No gimmicky feature list. Just a reliable instrument that feels natural, sounds great, and doesn't break the bank. Maybe you've tried a few budget keyboards that felt cheap under your fingers, or you've watched videos of high-end models that look amazing but cost a small fortune. That hesitation is real, and the risk of ending up with a piano that either sounds flat in a small apartment or feels like a heavy piece of gym equipment you never use is something every buyer worries about. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's talk about what actually matters in a digital piano for everyday use. First, the feel of the keys. If you're a pianist who has spent time on an acoustic instrument, you'll notice the difference immediately. Second, the sound quality. You want something that doesn't sound like a cheap sample when you play a quiet passage. Third, the practicality of the setup. Does it fit in a bedroom? Does it connect to your favorite apps? And can you actually hear it without plugging into external speakers? Finally, price-to value. You're looking for the sweet spot where the features you'll use actually improve your playing, not just sit on a spec sheet. Kawai CN301 hits those three core concerns fairly well, especially for anyone who lives in an apartment, a home studio, or a teaching space. The biggest headline is the responsive hammer 3 action. Kawai grades the hammer weighting, which means the low end feels a bit heavier while the high end is lighter, mimicking the natural gradation of an acoustic piano. In practice, that translates to a more expressive feel when you play a soft Chopin nocturne in the living room or a punchy jazz voicing in a bedroom. It isn't a full-size concert hammer, but for a digital piano in this price range, it's impressively close. You'll hear the difference the moment you press a chord and release it. Sound is the next big piece, and the CN301 leans on Kawai's progressive harmonic, PH, sampling engine. What that actually means for you is a richer, more layered tone that retains its character when you play softly or when you crank the volume. The built-in 40-watt speaker system, driven through a 5.11-inch driver, is louder than you'd expect from a typical home piano. If you're practicing with headphones, the sound is clear. If you turn the volume up for a small family gathering, the piano fills the room without sounding tinny. I tried it in a modest living room setup, and the bass didn't get lost. You could actually hear the resonance of a low A without needing a subwoofer. Connectivity is where the CN301 becomes a practical tool for modern musicians. Bluetooth MIDI and audio, version 5.0/5.1, let you stream music from your phone, tablet, or laptop straight to the piano speakers, and you can also send your playing to a DAW without any cables. Imagine you're following an online lesson on YouTube. The piano can pull the backing track right into its speakers, so you don't have to juggle a separate Bluetooth speaker. For composers who like to sketch ideas quickly, you can record a MIDI file on your phone and later import it into a production suite, preserving the nuance of the hammer action. Customization isn't just a buzzword here. Kawai includes the Virtual Technician, a suite of 21 preset tonal tweaks that let you shape the piano sound. Want a brighter, more concert hall feel for a recital piece? Switch to the Bright Grand preset. Prefer a mellow, vintage vibe for a lullaby? The Soft Pad setting does that in a click. It's a practical way to adapt the instrument to different genres without buying external plugins. Now, who should actually consider the CN301? If you're a beginner or intermediate player looking for a serious practice instrument that feels like an acoustic piano, this is a solid upgrade from the typical 61-key entry-level keyboards. It's also a good fit for teachers who need a reliable instrument that can be moved between studios, thanks to its relatively compact footprint and the fact that the speaker system is built in. No need to lug a separate amp. The Rosewood finish isn't just pretty. It hides fingerprints and minor scuffs, which is a nice touch for a home environment where kids might be around. Who should skip it? If you're a concert-level pianist who performs regularly on stage, you'll likely want a higher-end model with a more